Right then, let's have a quick look. I don't want to spend too long digging away at the roots, and the reason for that is because there's a potential I end up creating more problems than exist. So to be fair, while I've been getting rid of the soil, I've been looking for any clear indicators of rot, and it's, you know what, it's not as bad as I anticipated. There's a couple of roots that had all the signs that they were rotting. If I spin it around this way, you can see that one I was certain was rotten, and it's actually very healthy. Say that, I don't even know if I'm getting it into the camera shot. That one there, I was certain it was rotten. And there we go, there's a bit, look, it's just crumbling. Let's have a look what's going on up here. So the reason I've waited a week and a half to do this is because, as I said at the start, I've got no knowledge of ficuses. Never really had any interest in acquiring one, to be totally honest. So I had to do quite a little bit of research on soil, and I went down a bit of a rabbit hole, and I started buying combinations of akadama, lava rock, pumice, I can't remember what else. But as with anything on the internet, the more you look for advice, the harder things can be, because the advice is always conflicting. So let me check if that's in shot. Okay, I'm just going to raise the camera slightly, get a better look. Yeah, the advice is so conflicting. So what I've opted for is, it's under there actually, it's under the table. I've got a ready mix from Kaizen, their number 2 mix, which from what I've read should do the trick. Right then, so we've got some things you might as well look at while we're here, and that is the roots. Now, the immediate problem I can see is these roots, instead of going outwards, are coming back in on itself. So in the interest of being a butcher and watching many of Tony's videos, rest in peace Tony from Tony's Bonsai, we'll get stuck in, because what I don't want is to have to do this again in a year's time. There's a weird one underneath. And this isn't really the best idea, because we really want it to keep as many roots as it's got that are healthy to help it recover. But to be fair, it's got quite a lot. So yeah, I'm okay with that. Get rid of that one. Listen, if you're watching this video, oh, there's a horrid one there that comes all the way underneath and out the other side. I might get rid of it. In fact, do you know what? in for a penny, in for a pound. And this actually goes and gets embedded with a bunch of others. So let's see what we can get out of here. Yeah, on the subject of videos, I only stumbled across Tony's videos about a year ago, give or take. There we go, got it. That might free up some space for these to actually grow a little healthier now, looking at it. And what I loved about Tony was he just didn't care, did he? He just didn't care. And what I mean by that is he clearly cared about his plants, but he didn't care about tradition. You know, some of what he did was bordering on abuse. And I loved it. I loved his willingness to attempt new ideas that he had, and they didn't always work, did they? I'm sure we all remember a few of his videos where you'd be sat grimacing, going, "Oh my God, is he talking a tree back into a position he had no right to talk it back into?" So I'm still not happy with those. Let's have a quick tidy up down there. That one's not bad, it's that one. There we go. And yeah, like I think many in the bonsai community, like I think many people felt, Tony was a real warrior, wasn't he? Like, there was a period where he was clearly very unwell, visibly, and yet he was always so cheerful, and I found him a bit of an inspiration, I think, to consistently look at his trees with the long term in mind, when, you know, there was no guarantee he would see any of his projects come to fruition. And thanks to Xavier, the people who were fond of Tony will see those trees come to fruition. I think that's I think Xavier calls them his legacy trees, and what a legacy to have. I don't know myself if I believe in, here's that like clay mud, another patch of it. I think I've got it all, and then it's like really dense sand, different to the rest of the soil. So maybe it was repotted again and they didn't get rid of what it'd been growing in initially. And then this bit really concerns me, this bit. Yeah, the wood is coming away. I'm going to have to just do a bit of a investigatory chop. Okay, so you can see I took quite a big chunk off there, and there's only a little bit that looks alive. I'm going to go a little bit deeper. Okay, so it's not that bad. I checked the temperature, it's up to 5 degrees now. Practically sunbathing weather. I don't think don't know if I'll be able to get it on the camera. Let me see if I can move it around. There's this weird hollow here. I don't know if that is rotten. I don't know what I'm digging out. Is it rotten wood? Is it that sandy clay soil? I mean, that there is wood. I do hope this phone has picked up this footage and it's not while I've not been looking, just gone like that. That would be frustrating. Right, I think, do I want to take a big risk? And oh, I've just pulled it off anyway. What was it? Definitely alive. Definitely alive. I don't quite know how the roots has. Oh my gosh, look at that. See that? I mean, that is just. Okay, we're going to stop the video while I carry on. There's clearly more I need to get stuck into. Okay, I'm happy. It says as good as I'm going to get it. There's still a fair amount of roots on. I've got rid of the rot, and I'm actually really pleased that the rot's not as bad as I initially thought. So I'm going to get the it's going back into the same tray in the same pot. I know they're welded together, but it's not too much of a concern for me because I'll know what I'm looking out for. So I'm going to get that set up now. Okay, so I don't know if I will need to wire the tree in, but I've added it in anyway just in case, and I'm not putting in gauze. The particles of this number 2 mix are pretty large, and if a bit slips through, that's fine. The weight of the rest will soon prevent that from happening. I'm just having trouble getting into this bag. So this is, I'll show you in a minute. It's the number 2 mix from Kaizen, Kizzen. If you pop that in Google, Kaizen Bonsai, you'll get their website. I've used their mixes quite a bit, and they're not bad value, and they have different mixes for different plants. Okay, so I didn't anticipate the hardest part of today would be me trying to open the bag. Kaizen, you seal your bags well. Right, I'm in. Okay, so I've got 17 litres, and I can't for the life of me remember how much it cost. But if you're interested in what it looks like, very exciting. I'm sure you'll agree. Right then. So let's get this party started. So it's going to take quite a lot to fill, and I think my trusty scoop might be too small to begin with. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm going to be there for about 15 hours. So if in doubt, tip it out. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so that's not going to be enough. So what I'm going to do is put a decent layer, build up some height in the middle. And then we don't have that many roots to work around, so it should be pretty straightforward. Let's have a look at that. And yeah, I think I will need to wire this in for no other reason. I mean, look, that will sit quite nicely, but it's a very top heavy tree. So if I bring it around here, front on, you can see, hopefully, there's a significant gap between the top of the soil and the height of the roots. So I'm going to build that up slightly. I've been watching videos lately of a lot of more elderly bonsai masters, and you know, they're talking about how they don't work on big trees anymore, and I'm very quickly understanding why. They're a royal pain in the arse. Right, that's the middle done. That's better. Let's push that down a little bit. Okay, and then come back. That looks okay. I'm going to push it down a little bit more. It's tending to rock backwards. Yeah, I need some more at the back. Okay. I mean, I don't know what this tree weighs. But I do know I'm quite thankful at the moment that I go to the gym very often, because being able to pick it up with one hand makes this process a hell of a lot easier. Alright, let's move that to one side, pop you in there, and now I'm going to wire this in, and the wire is not going to be anything pretty. I'm just going to get it over a couple of points, like so. Tighten that up in a second, and then, oh, I wish I had my turntable. Let's do this. There you go, look, see, it's already falling back. This wire will go the other side, and we'll get it to try and bite in there. Yes, that will work really, really well. I can get the tension on it before it slips. Not really. Okay, where's my pliers? So I'm sure if you're watching this, you probably know what I'm doing. But if anyone happens to stumble across this video and doesn't, you tie the tree into the pot for a couple of reasons, really. The main one is to keep it secure. Well, the only one is to keep it secure, but there's a couple of reasons why you'd want that. So the first is Any movement in the pot. That was not what I wanted to happen. That is not good. Any movement in the pot. Oh, shit. Pardon my French, YouTube. I don't know if I'll be able to rescue that. Let's have a look. Yeah, sorry. Any movement in the pot can disrupt the roots, and I'm sure it's understandable why that would not be something you'd want to happen. I need to snip the ends off here. And then the second one is, there's always the risk with any plant that it will fall over. That could be due to, if it's outdoors, winds, bad weather, etc. Animals bumping into it, kids, just general accidents. So, and I will confess, wiring is probably my least enjoyed element of this hobby. So that should, yeah, that stops the tree moving independently of the pot. And if I pick it up, yes, that's a win. Not the best, but it was certainly worked for me. Right now, this table's making some good old crunching noises. Now we can begin to fill this baby up. Again, all we'll do is throw the soil in there nice and loosely, and then once we've got a fair bit in, we'll work it into the gaps and then top up as is required. Everybody has their own preferred approach to bonsai and elements of the hobby that they enjoy, and I guess elements that they don't. And I'm very conscious that this is one element that I don't enjoy, and because of that, in the past I've rushed it, and that's certainly led to one of my trees. I think that was the cause of it dying a while ago, because it was wobbly, which meant the roots never had an opportunity to settle. Right, I'm just going to go and grab something to poke this soil in with. Okay, so the purpose now is just to simply poke that soil into the gap. So you can see, if I spin it slightly there, you should be able to see a big gap just appeared here. And that's fine. And actually, given the root structure, wouldn't be a total disaster if that stayed. I'm just going to get the turntable. So now I should be able to pick this up with one hand. Oh, it's getting much heavier though. There we go, that's better. And begin to work this in. So yeah, depending on the roots, some gaps might not be an issue. We'll have to look what it looks like, but certainly you don't want many, and I'm doing it very gently at the moment. Because again, if you've got gaps, you can see there's some here, that could lead to the tree moving, or when you water the tree, the water not reaching all of the roots correctly. And that's one thing I've just realised as well. It'd be nice to have a chair while I'm doing this. So as you push down, you should see the soil start to almost sink. And that is what we're looking for. It's sinking into the gaps. That's a big bit, I don't want that. And we'll just go around a few times doing this until we're happy. Now if you imagine, this tree's not got any real fine roots underneath it, but if it did have, it's really important you get the soil in between all of those roots. Otherwise you're just going to end up with a chunk of roots in one place, a chunk of soil in another. And here we have a rogue root sticking out. I'm going to snip it. It's a shame, but I wasn't sure how much soil this would take, so I bought that 17 litre pack, and I've probably used, I'm going to guess I've used about 2/5 to a half. So give or take, I reckon about 8 litres, which is a fair whack. But I did anticipate using more than that. So you can see here, I think you can see there's a little bit of a cavern here. But as long as the soil is level with the rest of the pot, I'm not too worried, because there isn't any roots in between the soil there and the bottom of the underneath of the tree there. So that gap isn't going to cause me too many issues, I don't think. Someone in the video may disagree, and you can see here the other side of that. And then lastly, I'm just going to go really deep and make sure, even though we don't have many roots in this, that we do get right deep down. Oh, there was a big hole there, and if you can see, the soil just disappeared. About ½ an inch, that's not bad. All around the pot. And again, here it's still going. So this is the problem I've had historically. This part of the process bores the life out of me. I would rather go for a run. But you want the tree to live, don't you? So let's get rid of that. Okay, I'm pretty happy. I'm gonna just smooth it off. Getting rid of any excess. I don't mind a bit of a mound, but not too much. I think we're there. Let me move this. I'll pop that back on the table. Oh, you'll love that noise, don't we? Right, let's have a look. It's on a slant because the turntable's stuck on something. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Now the branches I'm not going to touch today. I'm not going to touch them for a good few months. I'm going to let this chill out for a bit. So there's going to be no more work. I'm trying to zoom out. It won't zoom out. If anything, it's zooming in. I think that's as far as this camera zooms out. It's not great. That will do. There's only one thing left to do. Let's do it. Good idea to move that box of soil out of the way first, wouldn't it? Luckily I'd shut the bag. So I'm going to give it a good old water, really thorough water. What I'm also going to do while I'm here is just wash these leaves because they were quite dusty. And okay, there's one that I've snapped while working on it. Might be, I don't know if you can root these. I'll have a look. Might pot that up. But yeah, these were really dusty, and obviously we want the plant to be able to absorb as much light as it can without dust getting in the way. Plus, it looks rubbish. So that one is snapped in half, but I'm gonna leave it because it's a clean break and I think it might be okay. Let's spin it around. So we're also going to wash all the underside of the leaves. Give it a good MOT. You see there. Now I did read that it's expected that this may drop all of its leaves because you're putting it in a new environment with new humidity and different levels of light. Hasn't yet. It's had a couple like the one I've just shown. There's another one. Now that could be due to its history getting watered, or there's another one there. So we'll see. I don't think it's going to be anything other than that. But time will tell. One last watering. I want to absolutely drench it. And then it's actually sat in water in this pot. I'm going to leave it in there for 5 minutes. And that's because the soil's brand new. So I want to make sure it absorbs as much of the water as possible. Beautiful. Absolutely glorious. I think the job done. The thing I've done is just put that branch into a little perlite mix. I don't know if it'll root. I do read that these are easy rooters, so let's see what happens. I'll pop that in the front room. Not the best stand, but it'll be all right catching water under a grow light, and we'll see if that develops.